Generation 3's most expensive national dex has landed. We are going to go through each and every Pokemon from Hoenn, from Trico all the way through to Deoxys. From the biggest Wailord to the tiniest Minun, we are checking out the most expensive card for every Pokemon and adding them to our world's most expensive national dex. If you haven't watched the first two generation videos, then hit pause here and go check them out. I'll leave a link in the description as well as a little pop-up in the top right hand corner. We will be right here waiting for you once you're all caught up. And if you have watched them, thank you, the support has been brilliant and I'm working on bringing these videos out a little bit quicker in the future. So far, our binder has racked up a rather impressive price tag of £50,427.92. Over 50 grand to own the most expensive version of every card from the first two generations. It does make me think though, what our overall total is going to be.
$1,200? Holy zombie Jesus!
We have only totted up 2 generations, with 7 more to go. I mean, surely Gen 1 is going to be the most expensive, but how much higher will it get? Let me know in the comments below with your guesses. We'll do a quick recap of the rules before we get into the cards for those who need a refresher. It has been a while since the last video after all.
My bad.
Firstly, English cards only. Second, raw cards only. Thirdly, remember all prices are correct at the time of recording from the collector app. Simple one-stop shop for all my collecting needs and a really good source of information rather than me scouring through eBay's last sold listings, trawling through price grading charts from the last few months, and allow me to have a life while I make these videos. Okay, are we ready?
I'm ready! I'm ready. I'm ready.
Let's start with Pokemon number 252, Trico. And right from the off, we are going big with this Team Rocket Returns Trico card released in 2004, the same year we got Facebook. And what is the price of this card to start us off in this generation? £1,844.63. This might be our most expensive card already. The first card. I mean, I can think of some other Pokemon that should have a pretty good chance, but this has got to be up there. Grovyle and Sceptile can't hold a torch to their first stage friend. Grovyle does give us this cool Nintendo promo card, handed out during the Pokemon League events in 2003. Then Sceptile gives us an early contender for Generation 3's ugliest card. I mean, this is an ugly card from the Team Magma Team Aqua set from 2004. Man, 2004 really gave us some villains.
No, yeah, I mean, I wake up and I fight people.
Torchic is up next, and we get another card from the Team Rocket Returns with this shiny Gold Star card. Another wallet emptying entry with a price tag of £1,272.70. And yet again, Combustion can't hold a Torchic to its unevolved counterpart with this State Championship card. Blaziken's most expensive card though is a pretty well known one, the Chilling Reign Dynamax Blaziken. It's a seriously impressive card with a cool £273.84 value, so let's get that in the binder. Personally though, I do prefer the Silver Tempest edition, but that one doesn't even break the top 10 most valuable Blaziken cards, so sorry Silver Tempest, but you can't get into this binder. It's time for the turn of probably the best starter of the generation, and I'm sorry for all the Torchic and Trico fanbases, but Mudkip is the one. I think it is most people's first choice for a Pokemon Emerald, Ruby, Sapphire playthrough, but here's where I have to hold my hands up a little bit. I've never played Ruby, Sapphire or the Emerald games through to completion. Please, people, put the pitchforks down. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I've started them so many times with the intention of going through them because all I've heard is good things. I heard the story's great, the team building's really good fun. Like we just said, the starters are great. But it always feels like life gets in the way of whenever I sit down and want to start one of these. So maybe this is like the real kick I need, doing this generation in the binder to get me onto those games. Anyway, away from the embarrassing confessions, this Mudkip card rounds out the Team Rocket Return set with another huge value of £1,489.40. Then we get another Pokemon League winner card for Marshtomp, and Swampert gets the same treatment as Sceptile from the 2004 Team Magma vs Team Aqua set. It's like this set hated the final evolved forms, although this Blaziken's pretty fire. This set has some huge Generation 3 cards, but will any of these take the crown as the most expensive card in the generation? You're going to have to stick around to find that one out. Poochyena is another Team Magma vs Team Aqua card, followed by this Holland Phantom's Mightyena from 2006, with a respectable £43.85 combined value. Zigzagoon and Linoon join the binder from the Emerald set. Then we get one of the most expensive bugs to date, this Wurmple from a 2004 WB Kids set. This is a really fun set of 5 cards where the illustrations were actually submitted by kids, and then the winner's drawings were featured on the cards. This Wurmple illustration was done by a girl called Katie Gross. Pretty cool conversation starter for her, I'm sure. I would also love to start conversations with, hey, have you seen this cool WB Kids Wurmple card that I've got? Only I don't have £104.28 to spend on a Wurmple. I'm really sorry, guy. We carry on from Wurmple with this Silcoon and Beautify cards, both from the Deoxys set. These stamped reverse holos are really nice, and there's quite a few of them coming up, and god damn it makes me want them so bad. Cascoon and Duckstocks each come from the 2006 Legends Maker set, a set we'll be coming back to later, but on with the binder. Our Lotad line has a Platinum Lotad and Lombre and Ludicolo coming from the 2003 Sandstorm set, and I honestly wish a Sandstorm would kind of blow away this Ludicolo far away from me. It's a really creepy Pokemon, really not helped by the Detective Pikachu version. It's an absolute abomination. Seedot is from the Legends Maker and is a meager £3.35. Nuzleaf is another reverse holo Deoxys card, and then Shiftry is from the Crystal Guardian set. Tailo and Swellow join the most expensive national binder from Deoxys and Emerald, and then we get another Deoxys card with Wingull for £6.57. Pelipper has its most expensive form as the Paldea Evolved Staff pre-release card, making it the most modern card from this generation so far, but with a modest value of £15.97. Routes' card is from the Scarlet and Violet base, part of the special illustration series that shows Routes evolving and growing up with a family as they grow older. I love these sort of evolution sets that you see from time to time, although the 2 evolution forms don't show up in this binder, as these spots are taken by the Silver Tempest promo for Curlier and this huge Unbroken Bonds card for Gardevoir, with a value of £341.79, with also a sneak peek at our first generation 4 Pokemon. But will this be the most expensive Sylveon card? Make sure you're subscribed to find out in the next video. Surskit, Masquerain, Shroomish and Breloom all come from the Deoxys set, providing us with the most expensive versions of all these Pokemon. While doing my research, these Deoxys set cards, especially the reverse holos with that little stamp, have really grown on me. They just look so cool, and the fact they're stamped, there's something that I love about stamped cards. The old Wizards of the Coast Gold W used to get on like Brock's Vulpix and a few others. I don't know what it is, it just does something for me with Pokemon cards. Not to mention there's some pretty cool legendary cards in the Deoxys set that we might get to see later on. Slakoth takes over the honour of the most modern card in this National Dex for Gen 3 with this Surging Sparks illustration rare. And man, this Slakoth looks relaxed and chilled out. I envy him enormously. Vigoroth has another reverse holo Deoxys card for a cool £9.55. And then Slacking isn't that much more expensive. I was expecting there to be quite a big card for this fan favourite Pokemon. Nincada and Ninjask, again, both come from Deoxys, with very reasonable price tags. Maybe I can pick up 1 or 2 of these to start the world's most expensive national decks in real life. Hey, so it's editor Greg here. My car broke down on me, so I've just had to buy a new one. So it's gonna be a while until I can make any Pokemon purchases. Okay, back to the show. Shedinja is a little more expensive with this Dragon set card for £21.61, and then we have a relatively cheap Whismur and Loudred cards. So far, this is turning out to be a relatively inexpensive generation, bar the starters and their evolutions, Gardevoir and Wurmple, surprisingly. No other card has actually breached the £100 mark. For a generation adored for its games, I guess the TCG sets never got the same love. I mean, Gen 1 was £34,700, Gen 2, according to Collector, was £15,700, and so far for Gen 3, we've only just breached the £6,000 mark. I say only, I get it, it's still a lot of money, but compared to the other 2 sets, it's pretty reasonable so far. So let's start topping up that value though. We do get a quite expensive card for this League and Championship Exploud, with a price tag of £67.52. Makuhita doesn't really hit that hard with this £4.22 card, and then Hariyama isn't much better with another Deoxys card and a value of £27.65. Little Azurill has a little price tag with this Sandstorm card, and Nosepass has an even smaller value with this Emerald card. Skitty gives us our first McDonald's promo card. This collaboration between the Golden Archers and Pokemon has happened regularly since around 2011, and there's a direct correlation between the sets being released and grown men eating Happy Meals again. Thankfully, my girlfriend's regular McDonald's order is a Happy Meal, so that's my excuse. And as good as these cards are, I don't think they'd ever beat the old 90s McDonald's toys. Does anyone of my age, like 30 onwards, you remember the toys I'm talking about? The Hot Wheels, the Inspector Gadgets, the Action Men, the Furbies, the Toy Story ones. Those were peak childhood years. But back to Pokemon cards. This skitty, if you manage to keep it away from the cheese and the fry grease, will cost you a happy £8.38. Delcatty gets an upgrade with the Crystal Guardians £35.66 card, and then Sableye really ups the stakes. This beautifully designed card from the Sun and Moon era Unified Minds, released in 2019, is insanely detailed. Although if I was Sableye, I would quit munching on those gems and get out of there. Tyranitar looks pissed, but you might need a few of those gems handy if you want to add this card to your collection, with a current collector value of £166.61. This is definitely going to be one of those ones that is look and not touch, because as we all know by now, mortgage, bills, epileptic dog are what takes all the money each month. Marwile gets added to the binder with this Sandstorm card, before we have Aron from Power Keepers for £5.09, and then Lairon with the Team Magma vs Team Aqua card for £4.97. And then this Primal Clash Aggron, our first mega card in this entire binder, and adding £44.57 to the value of our collection. Meditite and Medicham both enter the binder from Emerald. This Medicham in particular is kind of creepy. Almost like he's looking at my wallet to say, why are you looking at me for? You can't afford me. Electrike and Manectric give us these Emerald and Deoxys cards, before we get this Plus or Minimum set from Dragon, with near identical prices of £27.51 and £25.40. Volby and Illumise get almost the same treatment, but from Emerald and both with similar price tags. Roselia from Legends Maker, Gulpin from Emerald both join the binder for the price of 3 Tesco meal deals. And if you aren't going for the chicken bacon stuffing with a Coke Zero and Paprika Walker's Max, we've got to have words. A pre-release Swalot also lands in the binder with a very nice price tag, followed by a £7.34 Carvana, with a big Sharpedo card for £53.23. Of course from Deoxys, a very cool card in my opinion. Wailmer gets a rather cheap Legends Maker card before we get to one of the biggest Pokemon in the whole universe, with this enormous Wailord Team Up card for a collector value of £327.61. This card has been a fan favourite since the set released, and it has only been increasing in price and slipping further and further away from our smaller collectors. But maybe one day. Let's add Numel and Camerupt into the binder, followed by Torkoal from Dragon. Spoink and Grumpig also join the collection for very low prices, especially when compared to some of the other cards in this national decks. Spinder spins in as the 327th card in the binder, followed by an almost identically valued Trapinch card. Vibrava is the next with another Holland Phantoms card, followed by a much more valuable Flygon from Rising Rivals, a platinum set released in 2009 in English, helping increase our value by £84.27. A pre-release Catnia, followed by an Emerald Cacturn. Swablu for just a smidge over £30 is followed up by a Boundaries Crossed Altaria. Pretty fitting that both these cards are shiny. Maybe makes for a little bit of continuity in what is a very varied national deck so far. 4 Sandstorm cards up next: Zangoose, Seviper, Lunatone and Solrock. Before we get to Barboach, with what is the cheapest card in the binder so far, £2.63 for a reverse holo Deoxys Barboach. Okay, this one I might go in order after I've done writing this script. Wishcast and Corphish drop into the binder from Dragon and Team Magma versus Team Aqua, and then Holland Phantoms gives us this Crawdaunt. That's that word, Crawdaunt. Baltoy and Claydol come to us from Emerald, Lily from Holland Phantoms, and a Cradilly for £38.92. Anorith and Armado join the national decks, with Armado in particular helping boost what is turning out to be an underwhelming generation for value. Feebas from Emerald, and then from the same set, Milotic with this extremely sparkly version for a collector value of £145.25. Castform, Kecleon and Shuppet made their way into the binder, before adding a very sparkly £68.03 Burnett from Legend Maker. This shiny Duskull and creepy Dusclops from Stormfront and Emerald respectively add a combined £87 and 1 pence to the binder. All those pennies add up.
Tesco, every little helps.
Tropius, who I forgot was even a Pokemon, has a League and Championship staff card from 2014, which is double the value of its second most expensive card, which is also a staff card. Now it's time for Chimecho. And do you want to see a Pokemon I didn't think would have an expensive card? It's this, Chimecho, yeah. Pretty inconspicuous card, right? Yeah, £232.84. Why, might you ask? Well, as we've seen in the past in this series, it's from the Pop series that brought us those ludicrously expensive Umbreon and Espeon cards in Generation 2. Yeah, that Pop series. Team Magma and Aqua gives us this £108.45 Absol card. Then a little Wynut and Snorunt from Sandstorm and Paradox Rift. Glalie card is this big breakthrough card, but with a modest value of £20.06. Spheal and Celio both come into the binder from Team Magma versus Team Aqua. I was a little disappointed that the card from Surging Sparks for Spheal didn't make it in. Walrein is from the Legends Maker set for £38.93. And then Clamperl is hiding this Hidden Legends card worth £11.89. Huntail and Gorbis are also from Legends Maker. Relicanth comes in from Supreme Victors, and Lovedisk, which is the very first Pokemon featured in the very first episode of this series, gets into the binder with his Emerald card. Shiny Bagon gives us a very cool card worth £45.46, while Shelgon is pretty underwhelming, £14.51, despite it being a League and Championship card. Then we get the final evolution in Salamence, and the Deoxys set brings us this card with a value of £123.01. A super nice card for what I know is a fan favourite Pokemon. Beldum starts its evolution line pretty quietly with this little winner card, but once it evolves into this Pokemon Stadium Challenge Metang promo card. These were given out at a Stadium Challenge held in July 2004, but I can't find much more information about it than that. It's pretty mysterious. Then, once it evolves again, we get a huge price increase into this Delta Species Gold Star Metacross. This set has some serious card art in there, some lovely cards, and two more we're going to see in just a minute, because it's time for the Reggies. No, not Reggie Yates, the one-time children's TV host from the 90s, these Reggies. They're actually all part of the Legends Maker TCG set. 3 gold stars for 3 gold star legendary Pokemon. But which of these is your favourite? And now we have made it to the second most expensive Pokemon in the generation. The Latias from Team Up, with a collector value of £1,494.09. Ever since this card's been released, it has been a fan favourite, with people investing heavily getting multiple copies. And it's a lovely card, really, really beautiful artwork. But it's so expensive now. It's so out of reach for so many people, which is such a shame, because it should really be a chase card. Well, I guess it is a chase card really, but it should be a chase card more people can get hold of. You also won't be surprised to hear this is also the most expensive Latios card. So much like in Generation 1, where we had one card for both Slowpoke and Psyduck and got 2 copies, we're going to have to get 2 copies here. If we were sticking to a tighter budget, maybe we could say, oh, let's save ourselves £1,500 and we'll just get one version, it counts for 2. But if we were sticking to a budget, this series wouldn't exist. And I don't know about you, but I'm kind of enjoying myself. I'm learning how to do these videos, I'm learning a lot about Pokemon cards, and it's great talking to people in the comments. And if you're enjoying it as well, make sure you leave a comment, like the video, subscribe, do whatever, I really appreciate all of it. And it does mean we are now 5 cards to go, and we're about to add some huge value to this generation right now. Our Ruby and Sapphire Pokemon cover legendaries, Kyogre and Groudon, both come from the aforementioned Delta Species set. Kyogre is ironically bringing the heat, but has a huge value of £1,468.85 for this shiny Gold Star card. It's pretty badass, and it's kind of giving me Free Willy vibes, he's kind of looking like he's jumping over that kid on the wall at the end. But Groudon doesn't get the same love. Saying that though, the card is still valued on collector at £324.39, which is still huge for a piece of shiny cardboard. And honestly, seeing these last few cards is making me sweat at how crazy you'd have to be to get all these cards together. And one day maybe we will in some distant future. So Rayquaza. Rayquaza has so many options. We could have the Call of Legends Shiny Rayquaza, the Ancient Origins Mega Rayquaza, the Evolving Skies Alternate Art. But these are all blown out the water by a bigger, shinier version. This £4,323.56 Deoxys Shining Rayquaza. This card is now the second most expensive card in the entire binder, only displaced by the Skyrise Charizard from Generation 1. It is a huge, huge card. It is over 20 years old now, and this is going to be a beauty in our binder. It has had a dramatic rise in value, and I'm not sure, I highly doubt it, but I'm not sure if it's because of the recent Pokemon Horizon series that have shown a Shining Rayquaza. But as recently as February of this year, it was going for around £700. But just 5 months later, we are close to £5,000. And again, maybe it's not the series because that's been going for a few years now. Maybe it's just this bubble that we're currently in, hoping it's going to burst soon. But everything is so hyped up right now. Jirachi adds another team up card as the second to last Pokemon before we get to Deoxys with this Pop Series 4 card. And with all the different versions of Deoxys out there, there are so many versions that this card could have been, but with the rarity of the Pop series that we've seen already in this generation, this card pulls through. So that is another 134 Pokemon added to our world's most expensive national dex. The Ultimate Binder is now roughly a third of the way full. Now let's see the value, because I need to see how big of a hypothetical safe I need to buy to store this hypothetical binder. We left off with Generations 1 and 2 at £50,427.92, and we are going to add a grand total of £16,802.11, giving us a new total value of £67,230.03. Yeah, pretty big safe. So 3 generations down, 7 to go. Thank you if you stuck around to the end of this video. I really, really appreciate all the support you guys have been giving me this series. I really apologise that the video has taken longer to get out than usual. Life has been pretty hectic recently, but I'm going to be getting on with Generation 4 pretty quickly, so hopefully there's less of a gap between this and the next one. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe and that like button down there, then head to the comments and let me know which Pokemon you think will have the most expensive Generation 4 card. Even without looking at my spreadsheet, I've got a couple of ideas already.